You don't need me to tell you that fiscal rectitude has gone out the window. Remember, we used to talk about our alarming debt and how Labor had blown the bank with wasteful spending during the global financial crisis? Remember the coalition with treasurers, one after the other, Joe Hockey, Scott Morrison and Josh Frydenberg, labouring to get the budget under control and back into surplus? We missed it by this much, eh? Last year was going to be the surplus year. But the pandemic struck and the deficit was $85 billion, our biggest ever. But it won't be the record for long. This year we're heading for a $200 billion deficit. All those arguments about wasteful spending and warnings about debt were right though. But the pandemic spending and borrowing is so large, it's overwhelmed all those arguments. And this time, no one's opposing the spending. It worries me, this debt. I bet it worries you, but no one in politics dares to argue against it. Imagine if there's another virus, another pandemic in a year or two. Can we really tackle it the same way we've tackled COVID-19? I don't think so. Anyway, I mention all this because Anthony Albanese is reportedly under fire within his own party for trying to be fiscally responsible. Against these almost unimaginable levels of spending and debt from the coalition, the critics inside Labor say Albo shouldn't really worry about the bottom line. Well, that's not right. Albo is right. He's saying that any new promises from Labor should be paid for. There should be savings somewhere to offset them.
When new proposals come forward to help to identify how that will be paid for, I make no apologies for the fact that Labor will be fiscally responsible. We think it's important. One of our criticisms of this government is that they've gone $1 trillion into debt without having any legacy to show for it.
Yeah, that is the right call by the Labor leader. No matter how difficult it seems right now and how pointless given the debt levels that already exist, Labor needs to demonstrate that it's financially responsible. It loses election time and again, primarily because it promises to do too much on climate change, paid for with higher taxes and higher power prices, and it promises too much other spending, paid for by higher taxes. Unsurprisingly, voters don't like this. Albo knows that to go down that route would be a sure path to electoral oblivion.